Life in Nazi-occupied France. Life in Nazi-occupied France was characterized by scarcity and repression. The country's production was seriously affected by the lack of labor. 1.5 million skilled French workers were brought to work in Germany, and the scarcity of raw materials and energy sources, coal, oil and electricity. Large numbers of locomotives, trucks, and draft horses were taken to Germany. The supply of the cities was disorganized and ration cards were introduced to obtain food, bread, meat, fish, sugar, fat, coffee, etc., as well as household products, clothing, tobacco, wine, etc. Each person was classified according to their energy needs, age, sex and professional activity, and then received the ration corresponding to their category. Hunger prevailed mainly in the city and affected the youngest. Theft, bartering in the black market to buy food without a supply card increased. The occupation troops numbered about 40,000 men, not including troops based on the Atlantic Wall, and 7,000 police. From 1942, as the French resistance increased, the German military force was reinforced. As stipulated in the 1940 armistice, the cost of maintaining the occupying German troops was borne by the French government, greatly raising the cost of living for the population. To move from the occupied zone to the free zone, the French had to cross the internal border line heavily guarded by German soldiers and present an Ausweis, identity card, or a Passierschein, pass, to the occupation authorities. Another way was to enter clandestinely with the help of many resistance networks. Newspapers and radios were under the control of the Vichy regime, which imposed censorship on the news. An intense propaganda through posters extolled the sacrifice of the German soldier to avert the threat of communism in Europe and induced the French to do the same by working voluntarily. Total occupation and final liberation in 1942, when the Allies invaded French North Africa, the Germans and Italians occupied the remaining part of France. The country is then completely occupied, in the Alpine region by Fascist Italy and in the rest of France by Nazi Germany. The occupation of France continued until December 1944. The liberation of the country began on June 6, 1944 with the landing of the Allied forces on D-Day and the Battle of Normandy, and ended in December of that year. Paris was liberated on August 25, 1944. With around 75,000 civilians killed and a target of 550,000 tons of bombs, France was, after Germany, the second most heavily damaged country on the Western Front in World War II. Allied bombing was particularly heavy before and during the French Liberation Operation in 1944. This video is just a summary, and of course many things were left out. Don't forget to like and share the video. Sources and suggestions are left to your discretion. Subscribe to our channel, and until next time.